Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Obviously, we've been talking about a lot of Vanguard related stuff here over the past couple of days. The launch brings a ton of potential content with weapon grinding, with obviously we're looking at class setups, tips, all sorts of stuff like that. But also behind the scenes and with everything going on with Vanguard, we've got the Warzone stuff going on as well. And the past couple of days have been pretty big for Warzone. With the whole Vanguard launch, we got a couple of different Warzone reveals. We talked about this a couple of days back, where we got an initial map sort of leak slash reveal that Maven sort of showed off from the inside of one of the jackets that they got from the Vanguard reveal event. And now we actually have even more information on said overview of the Caldera, or the new Warzone map, with a handful of name locations. So we're going over all of those today. Then also the whole update, the mid-season update, the 1.45 update for Warzone, ended up changing a lot of things in game that it was not supposed to change. And Raven's been talking about some changes that are going to be happening here in the near future. So we got a lot to cover today as we go over it all. If you enjoyed the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. It really does help grow the channel. And of course, if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, feel free to do so, as I am always covering everything going on in COD, Vanguard, Warzone, and everything else in between is always right here every single day. And also right now, COD WARZONE is still 30% off on G Fuel. If you want to grab anything there, now is absolutely the best time to do so, thanks to that increased discount. But first up here, let's talk about the Caldera, because as we talked about a few days back, we had this leaked overview of the whole map and the general bird's eye view of it, and we couldn't really get anything of it because it was a screenshot from a live stream that, the camera wasn't zoomed in, it was not focused, it was, twisted because it was on the inside of a jacket, so obviously it's not flat out and straight. However, we actually ended up getting this image here. Someone took a much more HD, high quality screenshot of the Caldera map, and this gives us a lot of information about the map itself. Obviously, we can see the general overview of it, what it really looks like. You can sort of see how the elevation will change if you know how to read the map here. You can sort of get some hints and some whiffs of that, but obviously we can go ahead and talk about what is actually going to be on this map. It says top secret military map, Operation Alpha, the 16th of May, 1941. So it's still very confusing whether or not we're going to be playing on this map in 1984, in 1944, 1945, or in modern day, or what. We have no idea. They haven't officially confirmed it, but it seems like it could be like 1941 potentially. But when it comes to the Caldera, let's look at our different locations that we now have confirmed to us here. So starting up top, we've got the naval shipyard up here in the corner area of the map. So this is a far outskirt, almost kind of like it is on Rebirth, where we have that like sort of outstretched area with the helipad and everything down low. I feel like that's sort of what's going on here. It's this lower part of the island on the very edge, and there will be like some shipyards, some docks, I would assume a couple of different containers and buildings going on there. So that's our first initial location. We also have, I think this says ORE processing docks, so there's even more docks and whatnot over here. I would assume this is more so of an open area with a lot of like different things placed around, different crates and different things like that, maybe some cranes and whatnot. We're not too sure as far as like the actual environment setup goes, but we got a docks area over here. Now, unfortunately, we can see all these different name locations on here. There is one though, I believe right here. We can sort of see how we have like these lines stretching out to the name boxes. It looks like there's one right here that stretches out underneath the jacket, so unfortunately we can't see what exactly that is, but it's another edge of the map sort of location. Looks kind of small comparing to like the docks here, which we can see maybe like a couple of buildings here, this open field. With the naval shipyard, we can see different like big squares and stuff. This one seems a lot more small in terms of overall comparison. Now, going down just around the edge, I guess we'll go first. We have the beach defenses, so I assume there's a lot of like barricades and different stuff going on this side of the island. I would assume another more like open area that has small pieces of cover placed throughout it. So I think a big difference between this map already and Verdansk is going to be the openness. Obviously, Verdansk is very filled, you could say. It's very cluttered and busy. There's a lot of buildings. There's a lot of not so much open space and room to run. This map, I think, is going to have a lot more. We also have the submarine base over here. I would imagine there's quite a bit of verticality going on here. Be interesting to see if we could actually go inside of different submarines, if there's any in the sub pen there. That could be kind of interesting to see. Also, they call it submarine base, sub base. I wonder if there'll be any hints of potentially what we had like in Modern Warfare 2, if they try and recreate that map at all or anything within the area here. Obviously not the same time period, but the general structure. Very curious to see what's going on there. Down to the south, I'm particularly interested in this because this is the city capital area. So I feel like this is going to be one of the main parts of the map, which is kind of curious because it's not centralized, right? So it's going to play very different. Obviously on Verdansk, we have Superstore and hangars and factory and all that. That is dead center map. Great for action, great for all rotations. You can go in any direction. City capital here, I would assume, is going to be very loot filled, very tight knit, close quarters with a lot of buildings and whatnot, but you can only rotate in one way, and that is north. So it'll be interesting to see how hot this actually is, despite it being probably the most dense part of the map, I would imagine. But that way you got in the south, going around the edge still, you got the fishing village over here on the left side of the map, and I believe this is what we saw in that initial fly through, and like scene where we come up from the ocean and we see the coast there. I'm pretty sure that's the fishing village that we see over here on the west side. Moving up, we got the ancient structures as well, so I don't think that'll be anything too crazy. Probably a lot of openness again, and then a couple of structures placed in the center. Now, looking at the actual middle of the map here, we got the taro farms, or taro farms. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that. I would again assume there's not going to be a ton of density there in terms of buildings and different cover objects. Probably a couple of fields for farming, maybe a couple of farmhouses and whatnot, but I don't think that'll be anything too crazy. We have the airport, which I think will be especially entertaining because obviously there's going to be some airstrips. Those are no cover whatsoever, but there's different buildings around there, the ATC towers, the different hangars and whatnot. Sort of similar to Millbase, I assume it's going to play very much so like that. But I mean, the DayZ player in me, if you've played DayZ, you know what all the air bases are and the military bases are like. I feel like that's sort of what this could be like in game. We've got the phosphor mines, which again I think will have quite a bit of verticality here, going a little bit into the mines. Hopefully, unlike Verdansk, the mines actually play a portion of the gameplay on the map, and you can go in them and use those as flank routes, as rotating routes, so on and so forth. And then finally, we have the epicenter of the map, the volcano, the caldera. And I think this is going to be a fun one because, as I'm sort of already theorizing, we'll see if it comes true. We have a map that's literally based around this volcano. There's no shot we don't see some sort of volcano eruption event or something happening here with this volcano, either at the end of the map's life cycle or at some point during the year. Something's gotta happen here, right? But yeah, as of right now, that is our general overview of Caldera and all the name locations. We've got 1, 2, technically 3 behind this, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different name locations here already. I assume there's gonna be more placed throughout here that maybe aren't as major. Obviously, on Verdansk, we don't have, just a couple of name locations like this. It's very dense, and there's a lot going on in between, like, these sort of dry areas. We can see there's buildings and different structures placed throughout the map in the center and whatnot. So there will be more locations than just this, but it seems like these are the main ones that we'll be able to look out for once Caldera is implemented into the game. Now, another aspect of the 1.45 update is the fact that we got the Warzone dedicated Trello board, which is where now Raven will post all the issues they're working on fixing, some future updates and different plans for scheduled events like Double XP, the whole Operation Flashback, all sorts of stuff like that. And the 1.45 update, as I said in the intro, unfortunately introduced a lot of different glitches and different issues in game. And they've already talked about a couple of these things that they are looking to fix here pretty soon. So for global issues, Dark Ether, the camo is currently displaying an incorrect texture across multiple weapons. There was a lot of comments about this in my videos. Zach, what did they do to Dark Ether in Warzone? They are working to revert these issues with that camo, make it look back to what it was before. They did increase the coverage on several weapons, but the look of it is definitely not what it was before, so they're working on fixing that. Weapon unlock challenges, the criteria for certain weapons are not tracking correctly right now, so they're also looking into getting that fixed here soon. Crashing instability is a general thing, and so is this console reinstall thing. We've had that for a while. Loot spawns. There are inconsistencies in the type of loot that spawn across Verdansk. This is another issue that the 1.45 update introduced into the game, so they're also looking to get this fixed ASAP. This is an interesting one, the buy stations, as a result of the contracts issue. So I guess we should probably cover this one first. Contracts. When in the match, players will notice that there is an overabundance of contract spawns for whatever reason. Instead of having like 60 contracts spawn at the start of the game, there's like 200. And because of that, the buy station icons are not appearing correctly on the map, so you can't see where the buy stations are. You have to guess and hope there's one at Cop or one at Superstore or one wherever. Instead, you just see 19 different supply runs and kings and bounties and everything. So there's a lot of stuff going on as a result of the 1.45 update that was not intended. They are investigating all these, and these fixes should be out ASAP. Once they are released, I'll be sure to mention them in videos so you guys know it's all fine and dandy and everything is back to the way it should be. But for now, just a heads up, they are working on fixing those. But all that said, that's going to do it for today's video. What's going on as a result of the new update, and then also the new information we have on Caldera. That is going to wrap things up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know by dropping a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. And of course, if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, this is the place to be for everything going on in COD. News, updates, loadouts, tips. It's all right here every single day. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. But once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.